Welcome back, viewers. What a show. Today, I'm your doctor. I'm talking like a doctor. Somebody told me last week, in the last show, I spoke like a preacher. That was deliberate, when I was talking about overcoming fears with facts. It was a show that was aimed at bringing faith to you. That's why I spoke like a preacher. But today, I'm getting pushed to speak to you like a doctor, like your therapist, like somebody who is talking to you to just help your mental health, especially in relationships. Because relationships are hurting. It doesn't matter whether it's male and female relationship, all these other relationships, work relationships, business relationships. Relationships can make you very rich, or broken relationships can bring you poverty, social problems, and other issues. And that's why it's important for you to diagnose relationships, look through relationships, and understand that these are key for you. They are key for your health. You don't need to succumb to manipulation. One viewer was asking me over the break what really I mean by manipulation. Manipulation is very important. I may load you with an emotion that you don't even need to have it. For example, I may do something, that probably I'm the one to decide. I'm the one to decide it. It's totally in my jurisdiction to decide it. But then you, because you're my friend or maybe my spouse, you want to manipulate me, push me out of that thing. You don't realize that's what you're doing. If I've not learned how to use words, how to stand for who I am, I will find myself being guilty. Neurotic guilt. Neurotic guilt is being guilty where you don't need to be. But take, for example, if you want me to give you some $100, and for some reason I don't have it, and you try to whip my emotion negatively so that I feel that I am supposed to do that to you, What words can I use? I'll give you an example of a statement that you may use to answer, just an example. And that will not load the emotion on you, because relationships are full of manipulation. People loading on each other emotions that are not necessarily supposed to be there. For example, in such a situation, if you tell me, oh, I feel, this way and that way, and you act angrily, I don't need to take it on me. What I need to do is to answer you, I'm sorry you feel that way. Did you hear that answer? I'm sorry you feel that way. I've not taken up that emotion. Yes, I've apologized, but I've not loaded the emotion on me. Mark my words, people are loading negative emotions on each other. There is a lot of projection. What's a projection? A projection is people who are, missing in something. There is a lot of lack in different areas. So people are trying to project their emotions to others. It happens a lot. Because, take for example, if you lack money, you may find yourself in a situation where more often than not, you are angry and accusing people that are endowed with money, or you feel are endowed with money. It happens. If you feel powerless, more often than not, you'll find yourself, very you criticize power and powerful people because it is what you lack that you're trying to fill. You're trying to fill a gap. If you feel like you're not wise enough, you don't feel clever enough, what do? In a public setting, you want to talk where everyone seems to be quiet, And you want to bring out a lot of reasoning. And when you do that, more often than not, you're trying to belittle somebody, bring somebody else down. What does that do to your feeling about wisdom? You feel wiser than you bring that feeling out of you. It's a projection. What you're doing in that public setting, when you try to bring somebody else down and try to speak like the other person is wrong and you're trying to criticize them, you're projecting a lack of emotion on the inside of you. It brings in some false power to you, some temporary relief. It's like a painkiller. So what you're doing is that, that person is this way and that way and that way and that way. So you sound wiser, you sound the clever one, you sound like you're a bit, you are reasoning. So that way you're becoming a bit therapeutic on you. What you do not know is that it doesn't work for long. It only drains your energy, because if the other person understands how to deal with projections and they become strong and firm, and this is where now we need to train each other. We need to learn in our relationships how to deal with projections, how to help each other, because healthy relationships, will have to go through, raising up. There is no perfect relationship. You will have to go through, you are not dealing with perfect people. You are dealing with people with histories. You are dealing with human beings, and human beings are broken. Human beings lack. Human beings are weak. The truth is that there is no perfect human being. So what you need to understand is that any projection on you, you should not load it on you. Work ways, and more often than not, use words that will push projections away from you. Learn how to refuse projections. Learn how to say, no, that is not me. You don't need to say it verbally, but you say it in your mind. You need to create a mantra. When you experience an emotion, it can be a malicious projection, but you need to learn how to place a mantra. For example, if somebody says, oh, so you are, and you feel that statement is false about you, it happens. It happens, especially in social media and in issues of propaganda and the issues of, the politics of life. What you do, create a mantra of saying no. Create your own story in your mind. Whenever you hear something that is false about you, be very deliberate and tell yourself, no, that is not me. What that person is saying is not me. That will make you less angry. You can laugh it out. That will help you release yourself, because if you do not know how to deal with it, you will be angry. And when you become angry, you fall right in the hands of your projector. You fall right in the hands of your manipulator. You should learn how to deal with power struggles. You should learn how to deal with psychological games, because more often than not, they come as forms of projections. What people lack, they try to project. What people feel like they are missing, they try to project it. And that is why you need to speak as someone who needs to be respected. Never speak from an angle of your projector. Speak like someone who deserves respect. Whenever you talk, be firm, be direct, be deliberate about who you are, what you want, where you are going. You may have an incapacitation, but that does not define you. That does not define you. Remember what I told you about a mirror. Projections try to create a mirror of your image. That is not the real you. If you go into that image, you will see you. You will look like you. In that projection, as that person is explaining who you are, you may look like you. And more often than not, these are people who are at an advantage about us. For example, a spouse, and this happens in relationships, probably a man and a woman. This person is advantaged, because they are your husband. They are your husband, so they are advantaged by virtue of being your husband. So anything they say about you, more often than not, it will be believed. It will go without question. So they will move around explaining to people and to the society and any other person who wishes to listen, and even to you, about who you are. More often than not, they'll bring an image that may look like you, but it is not you. Probably you may have failed in one area, you may have failed, but they may have brought it in a certain way that you feel uncomfortable. This is the meaning. It is a projection. Yeah, you may have failed, you may have done something wrong, but the manner in which it is spoken and brought out, the end result is to make you look bad in the eyes of the society, in the eyes of the world. This is a projection. What do? You go back to that analogy of the mirror. You understand that this is just an image. It looks like me, but I'm the real me. I'm not the person in that mirror. I'm not the image. There is an authentic me. There is a real me. And the real me, even if they try to reach, I am original. I can never be fake. I know where I'm headed to. I understand what is in my mind. They may know an aspect of me, but they don't know everything. Somebody may call you like, probably you are in luck or you're poor. Why? Probably because of what they saw you in a financial situation yesterday. But they don't understand that today you're working towards something. You have a financial issue you are dealing with, or you have a relationship issue that they saw yesterday. They may not understand that probably you're working on something today. So you are the original you. So what happens is that mirrors try to project you like your real image, so that by the time you are coming out like your real self, you're already demeaned, incapacitated, and the other person who has acted like the mirror looks the better one, the stronger one. You need to understand these things. These are psychological games. These are power struggles of life. People are fighting and jostling because opportunities are rare. You know, in this life we are 8 billion of us and counting. And the reality is that it is a competitive world. So strife is real. You need to diagnose these problems. Understand where you came from. You might have come from an abusive past. You may find yourself always attracting abusive people unless you diagnose it and treat it. You know, you need to understand that you deserve respect. You deserve healthy relationships. You are focused. You deserve to exercise your potential. You may be of a certain race, but because of that past of racism, you may have been put on a certain level to imagine that you can never go beyond that level. You know, as that race, you are meant to be there. As that tribe, you are meant to be there. You know, these are things that happen without us noticing, and they stem from history. They happen over time. What you need to do is to understand that you need to diagnose it. Look through it. Sometimes it's good for you to meditate and see through your challenges. Listen to the conversations that you've had through the day. Go through them. Identify those that are out of power struggles, out of, you know, you need to understand those that are out of mere psychological games. That is how you diagnose it. Once you diagnose it, it will be possible for you to treat it. The next time you go out, I assure you, you will get a good spouse, for lack of a better word. You will find yourself attracting the right people in your life. By the way, if you find a good spouse, you find life. And if you find life, you find favor with God and with men also. So there is something about attracting good relationships. Whenever you get good people, you find good life. But whenever you attract wrong people, you find a wrong life. That is why you need to start diagnosing. Why is it that the people you attract in your life are not the kind of people you feel you need? You feel like you are bogged down. You are in a situation where the people that you're dealing with are either conning you, manipulating you, taking advantage of you. These are people that seem to be abusing you, but you're always there. This stems from history. You need to correct it. You need to go back into it. Start relieving it. Start taking away the junk that was put in you. Start putting it down, Many of the ladies, because I spoke a lot about men, let me speak about women. Probably you are never given a chance to act maturely. Yeah, and I need to go for a break. I was just on the case of the women, but I'm seeing like time. I need to go for a break and come back. But just before I go for that break, let me put it this way. Was your mother treating you like a baby throughout? It doesn't matter what age you are. That should tell you something. Whenever you're moving, you're not moving confidently, like you're mature, like you have the ability to be a mother, you have the ability to lead. You always feel like your mother or your elder sister needs to be around for you to to feel like you're living. That is a disease, and it needs to be treated. For you to be a mother, for you to lead a home, you need that set of that independence. Diagnose it. It came from, it looks like it's normal, but it is something you need to diagnose and treat. That is why we are lacking mothers in the society. Do we baby our girls so much? Let's go for a break.